We ain't even doing an intro for this one, folks. We're just going to hop straight into it. I'll throw some Concord trailers up while I'm reading a lot of this stuff, but this just happened, just announced by Sony. Herman Holst, an update from PlayStation Studios. Below is an internal email from Herman Holst, CEO, Studio Business Group, Sony Interactive, distributed today to Sony Interactive Entertainment employees. And obviously, this is about Concord, and I have a lot of things I want to say about this. Dear team, today I want to share some important updates from Sony Interactive Entertainment Studios Business Group. We constantly evaluate our games portfolio and the status of our projects to ensure we are meeting near and long-term business priorities. As a part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE's studio business, we have made a difficult decision relating to two of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios. Now, Neon Koi did mobile stuff. I'm not going to focus too much on that. I'm not really super interested in talking about that because I'm not a mobile gamer, but I want to talk about Firewalk because that is where, of course, Concord stems from. Regarding Firewalk, as announced in early September, certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others did not land with enough players, and as a result, we took the game offline. We have spent considerable time these past few months exploring all our options. After much thought, we determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. The PvP first-person shooter genre is a competitive space that's continuously evolving, and unfortunately, we did not hit our targets with this title. We will take lessons learned from Concord and continue to advance our live service capabilities to deliver future growth in this area. I know this isn't easy to hear, blah, blah, blah. Neon Koi and Firework are home to many talented individuals. We'll continue to find placement for some of those impacted within our global community of studios where possible. I am a big believer in the benefits of embracing creative experimentation and developing new IP. However, growing through sustainable financials, especially in a challenged economy environment, is critical. While today is a difficult day, there is much to look forward to in the months ahead from Studio Business Group and our teams. I remain confident we are building a resilient and capable organization driven by creating unforgettable entertainment for our players. Thank you for your continued support. Oh my God. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Concord was not a good game. You could look at Concord and realize, hey, this is not going to be very successful. This is not going to be something that makes a big splash. As Mr. Herman Holst said, this is a very competitive market. And when you have so many free-to-play options that do things that are very, very similar, or there are better alternatives out there in this marketplace, you have to do something at least a little bit different or do something better than the competition. Concord failed to do that. Of course, there was a lot of things tied with Concord, with all of these interesting characters, we will say, and the people that, some of these people, I shouldn't say all of them, but some of these people that worked on the game that were very outspoken about things that, I mean, people, that's your own business, but you know how that is with social media nowadays. And Concord was doomed to fail. But who set this game up to fail? That's what we need to look at here, because if Firewalk simply made Concord on their own accord, I don't think it would have been as big of a disaster. The problem is Sony purchased this studio, purchased Firewalk to make Concord a PlayStation exclusive game, to make Firewalk a part of Sony Studios, meaning that they saw something in Firewalk that they liked. Now, let's go back in time a little bit here. Who was the man that beat Bret Hart at SummerSlam to become the Intercontinental Champion? It was the British Bulldog. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Who was the man that decided, that played Concord, that said, oh, this is the future. This is what we need to do. We need to buy this studio, Sony. Any guesses? Any guesses whatsoever? That man was Herman Holst. So Herman Holst gassed up this game, gassed up this studio, made them believe that they had something special, made Sony believe that Firewalk was working on something special with Concord that was going to revolutionize this, and they were going to make a shit ton of money from it. And he was an idiot, and he was completely wrong, and there's no blame put on him. There is no blame. All these people just lost their jobs. 2 studios closed down. One is, of course, being the one that we're talking about being impacted here. And say whatever you want about the workers there or whatever. They were set up to fail due to Herman Holst. And this is the guy running Sony now. So if Herman Holst saw this game and played this game and was like, oh, this is a banger, son, and then it becomes a failure, is it the problem of, like, the game was tested. The game had beta testing. The game got feedback from people. Sony knew what was happening with this. Firewalk knew what was happening with this. They knew their player metrics based on the beta. They knew what people were saying online. But they just went ahead and did what they wanted to do instead of listening to some of that feedback, instead of taking some of that into consideration. And who gets all the blame? Who gets screwed over in the process? The people at Firewalk, the people who made the game, the people who were making a game, minding their own business, creating Concord, and then Sony came along and was like, whoop-a-de-doo, we need to buy you, whoop-a-de-doo, we want this game on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 only. This needs to be our console game. At what point in time do the people making decisions start taking accountability? At what point in time? And it's so funny to me. It's so funny because people call me, oh, you're so negative. You were negative about Concord. You were one of the reasons why people didn't like Concord. No, I'm a realistic person. I live in the real world. And when I see something I like, I talk about it. When I see something I think is amiss, I talk about it. It's called real feedback. It's called actually looking at something and analyzing if this is going to be a success or not. And Herman Holst completely whiffed on this. And Herman Holst is taking no accountability for this whatsoever. Oh, it didn't meet our metrics. We thought it was cool, but players didn't. Players told you that. You see, this is what I'm talking about. These companies keep doing things over and over and over again. And then it comes down to either the development teams or the players for not reacting to it for whatever reason. And they're to blame. Not the people that are higher up. Not the people that are calling the shots. Not the people that are gassing up these studios saying, oh, you got something great. Sometimes you got to tell someone, hey, this sucks. This ain't hitting, boss. We need to change this up or we're going to cancel the game. It happened all the time in the past with video games. But now we have this toxic positivity where everything is great. Everything is awesome. Everything should succeed. And that's not realistic. The world is not a kumbaya oyster where everything is always great and the sun is always shining and everyone is happy. Like, there's shit that happens in life. And you have to take accountability for that. And Herman Holst, bro, you got to question his leadership at Sony now. You have to question it completely. Because Sony has been doing a lot of things that have been making people upset. And one, like I've been saying, and people don't listen to me. They say, oh, you're wrong. There is no video game crash. There is no crashing of the industry. This is a perfect example of it. One false move, a Sony-backed studio, a studio that Sony and Herman Holst were so confident in that they bought the studio to make sure that this game was only available on PlayStation when it came to consoles, completely bites them in the ass. It fails, they pull it, and instead of retooling it, releasing it as a free-to-play, or trying to salvage it, they're like, well, we just need to shut down the studio. We need to shut down the studio. And, good luck. We'll try to give some of y'all jobs, maybe, but, probably not, even though we're the reason why this happened. We are the reason that this game got so big. We are the reason why this game got so gassed up. We told you had a gem, but really you had a bag of dog shit. But it's not our fault. It's not our fault. I'm just the one calling the shots here. It's not our fault. This industry sucks. This industry sucks. There's so many people within it that are just so out of touch that just do not realize what people want. And, like, it's cool to make a passion project. Do not get me wrong. But you have to put that within the budget. The budget of Concord was so high that it was doomed to fail no matter what. Even if this game sold 1 million copies at launch, it was still doomed to fail. When you have this big of a budget and you're expecting, like, we need 5 million on day one, at some point in time, you got to look in the mirror and take responsibility, take accountability. But nobody does that within this industry. So whatever happens to it, I don't really care anymore. And honestly, I haven't cared for a while. I haven't cared. Because until you start listening to consumers, the people that are putting money in your pocket, you are going to be doomed to fail, and you're going to have more instances like this, and you're going to have more failures. And eventually, at some point in time, all of those failures are going to catch up to you, and you're going to have to pay the piper. You're going to be put on the hot seat. And I can't wait. Whew. All right, that's all I got to say about that. I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me. I don't understand. I don't understand the world anymore, man. Like, everyone's a victim. Everyone's a victim. Not my fault. It's not my fault. It's like, no, it probably is, jackass. Let me know what you think of Herman Holst's great leadership in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. Go check out the other video from today. You got a twofer on this day because you're spoiled. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.